Hello, I'm Ann Sullivan, and today I'd like to talk about the 4 different foundational techniques that we harpists use for chords. So, the first one is very, very simple. It's just a flat or block chord. These are unrolled, unbroken. There are a lot of words we use to describe them, but basically all the notes of the chord are played exactly at the same time. Like that, either a 3-note chord, a 4-note chord, hands together chord. There are 2 key elements to playing a flat or unbroken chord well. One is that your fingers must have an exactly even tone. The other is that they must be played at exactly the same time. So no unintended unevenness of rhythm. They have to be exactly simultaneous, and each one has to have a sound equal to the other. There you go. Now, there are times, of course, when we want to emphasize one note instead of another, and you can do that easily, but the basic technique involves those 2 things: evenness of sound in terms of volume and tone, and played exactly at the same time. Now, the counterpart to an unbroken chord, of course, is a broken chord, a rolled chord, an arpeggiated chord. Lots of terms for this as well. And in a rolled chord, the fingers are played one after the other. Now, usually they're rolled up. They can be rolled down. There are all kinds of expressive techniques. Rolling chords is really a topic that needs to be covered all on its own because there's so much we can do with a rolled chord. It is one of our essential expressive tools. So, that being said, there are 2 key things here that you need to be able to do to roll a chord well. The notes, again, just like in a flat chord, the notes need to be even in terms of volume and tone, so nothing sticks out, right? You want the notes to be even, and you want the spacing between the notes to be even, so that it doesn't sound jerky or get stuck, but rather is very even and controlled and relaxed, which is, of course, the key to control, right? Being relaxed. And this is true whether you're playing a 3-note chord, a 4-note rolled chord, a hands together rolled chord. Relax your hands and your fingers. Use your very best technique. The danger in rolling chords is when you try to roll them with your wrist or your arm instead of your fingers. Your fingers have to do the work. They must play with perfect technique the way they always would, whether they were playing a scale or a flat chord or anything else. Now, after that, there may be a follow-through. You've probably seen lots of advanced harpists who do all different kinds of motions after a rolled chord. If you were to study it in slow motion, you would find that those things are after they've rolled the chord, not part of the rolling, so that they play their fingers in whatever technique they've been taught and they use, and then there's a follow-through. But you don't ever pull your hand away to try to roll a chord. It will not be even, okay? So we have flat chords, we have rolled chords. Then, of course, we have an arpeggiated chord, which is really nothing more than a very extended rolled chord that's rolled in rhythm. Once again, notes need to be even, and the spacing between them needs to be even. There are all different kinds of things here. Arpeggiated chords, one hand. Arpeggiated chords, hands together, and arpeggiated chords, hand over hand. There's our 3rd technique, arpeggiated chords. The 4th one is rather a huge category. This is when we arpeggiate the chords in patterns. If you're familiar with the conditioning exercises by Salzedo, the first 6 exercises are totally dedicated to these kinds of patterns, going up and down, using the fingers in different orders, in different combinations together and apart. So those are some of the patterns. Another pattern that's very familiar, that Alberti bass pattern. Once again, that's built on chords, just arpeggiating them in a pattern. Just about anything you can think of that's not a scale is an arpeggiated chord. So that's one of the reasons that we need to practice chords, flat and rolled, and then practice those patterns as well because they show up all the time. Now, those are the 4 basic chord techniques that you need to do. We can cover them in more depth a little bit later, but if you'd like more information on these 4 categories and how you can start working on them, head over to the blog post at harpmastery.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the notes below this video, so you can hop right on over there. And in addition, you can download a free 1-page PDF of some just basic exercises that will help you practice your flat and your rolled chords in 3 and 4 fingers, hands separately, and both hands as well. So I hope that this has helped explain a little bit about what goes on with our chords, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.